Courtside Monday.
All right, with that, joining us now on Courtside Monday, the on-time Oregonian, the Hawaiian time Oregonian, actually, Keith Feltner-Smith of the Trailcaster podcast, my co-host on that bad boy of a podcast. You may have heard it here. It played last week on Rip City Radio in a one-off, which was pretty cool. So thanks to Chad Doing for that one. How are you doing this evening, Mr. Feltner-Smith?
I am doing wonderful, my on-time Hawaiian. Thank you for having me on, friend. And hey, Preston, shout out to you, sir. That is fantastic music. I appreciate the Lupe coming in here, man. I used to skate around to that in my younger days. That took me back so nice.
My man, dude, that is great skateboard music. It is great skating music.
It's like a theme song right there. It's perfect.
Bro, real ones know that the only good skateboarding music is Rage Against the Machine and anything else featured on a Tony Hawk Pro Skater soundtrack.
Well, longboard. We're cruising. We're not thrashing as much, but
right,
it was all a good time of the day.
Yeah, you can't thrash anymore. You're too old for that, Keith. Let's get to the business, though. Get down to it. I said the main reason I wanted to have you on is because I always try to bring the unbiased journalistic takes. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. But you always bring the rose-colored glasses approach to everything. You are Blazer fan, ride or die, for good or bad. So I wanted to get your thoughts first off on the performance from the man, the myth, the legend, Damian Lillard this weekend at the All-Star Game.
He couldn't have done it more like Dame if he had tried to. It was wonderful. The almost come from behind win in the 3-point contest where he had needed the last 4 shots of his round to edge out Heel by 1, and then somehow knew that Halliburton was just going to kind of whiff with that weird shot form that he had despite having 31 in the first round. You couldn't have ridden it back for him. I love the 3-point contest, and even in the All-Star game yesterday, it was nice to see Dame being Dame, where he kind of let everyone else do their thing to start, went 1 of 7 from the field, kind of took it slow, and just as you would expect Dame to do, then he hits the half-court shot to let him know he's there at the end, and the turnaround deep 3 to end it after Donovan's air ball. Dame was letting us know. Dame was letting everyone know, if you didn't know, that he's different. He's in there, and obviously, he's not on the Steph Curry level of things. I think he said that himself. But if you're going to have a conversation about who comes next, Dame is up there, and I think he kind of, made sure no one forgets.
I do appreciate you mentioning Donovan Mitchell, because one of my favorite moments that actually just made me laugh, kind of proved how Dame is Dame goes out, takes a half-court shot. It hits the rim. Like, he didn't make it, but it was close. And then Donovan Mitchell tries and airballs it.
Hey, Donovan is a wonderful player in his own right, but Dame is that sniper, and he really showed it this weekend. It was fun in the 3-point contest. He said at the end he can now retire from the 3-point contest in that sense. Hopefully not. It'd be nice to see maybe come back and defend, get he and Steph in there, get them both in there when they're both healthy.
Yeah, there you go. Now I want to go to another competition that I know you're going to have a take on because you're upset about it, as are many a Blazer fan, but the dunk contest. For you, it just had, Matt McClung. Yeah, he was great. He may have saved the contest. It was a great performance, but I don't know. Would it have beaten Shaedon Sharpe had he stepped on the court?
No, I think if Shaedon was there, things could have been very different. And all respect to Mac McClung, the whole thing about him saving the contest, he saved it until someone needs to save it again next year. I think honestly, as much fun as it was to see him go off, I love the acrobatic dunks that you see dudes like that. Other than having a guy in there who just doesn't look like he's trying as hard, because a big part of this is looking like he wants it. That's what sold it so well. That worked really well for him, but honestly, I think it really exposed an issue with the dunk contest, the same as with the All-Star game, is just these guys don't seem to, you're never going to have defense in an All-Star game. I get that, but I would love to see a little more fire from other dudes not named Dame and Mac McClung, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Keith Feltner-Smith of the Trailcaster podcast joining us here on Courtside. Keith, I want to know, I asked Preston. The Godfather had a really scorching hot take. I don't know if you listened to the Rip City Drive coming in, but he said that the greatest dunk he's ever seen in the dunk contest was Pat Connaughton. Which, no. But I want to know, what is your favorite dunk in the dunk contest of all time?
Oh, boy. See, again, I love those acrobatic dunks, and the McClung dunks are so fresh in my head. I'm not going there, though. I loved the air chair when Aaron Gordon threw that down a little while ago. That was just, it was unique, especially against someone his size, looking like he really went at it going for that dunk. And that was, I don't think that was the year it ended well for him, unfortunately. Aaron Gordon does not have the greatest history with the dunk contest, but, maybe we get more guys like him in there throwing down things like that. We could top that one without too much effort.
Right. I believe Preston went with Zach LaVine. And myself, my favorite dunk contest dunk of all time is Vince Carter throwing it between his legs and then through the rim.
For sure.
That made an entire generation learn how to jump up in the air and take the ball in one hand under the leg into the other. Now, little guys like me, we couldn't dunk unless we had one of those play school rims that was like 3 foot high, and you had your little cousin come over so you could just dunk on him, knock the entire hoop down, and scream until your mom tells you got to play nice with your cousin because you can't hurt him like that. You're twice his size. But I did learn how to make layups like that, Keith. On the big boy rim.
Okay. See, I was going to say, I thought we were going. I was hoping you were angling this towards the Rock and Jock.
No, that's
the real answer to
No, but see, you call me the master of segues, and what you just did, you're segueing into my next question because I want to get your thoughts on the game itself, because the fans on Twitter, on our Trailcaster Discord, in the text message chains that you have with friends, there were hot takes. Some people liked it, most people didn't. What were your thoughts on this wreck of an all-star game, if you want to know how I thought about it?
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I was leading into earlier with the McClung comments, too. I think the issue is just they don't seem to care. And like you said, Chris, as far as the Rock and Jock stuff goes, they just don't look. They don't. I want to see them have fun. I want to see the connection between these dudes and what makes them different. And I think exactly what you're saying. Bring back 25-foot hoop. Bring back some 50-point shots on the outside. Things to make this special. Bring back some dudes who are also going to be, not in there. Bring over some NFL athletes, some crossovers. Make this a thing where you can have dudes in there that want to compete and want to go at it. And yeah, I don't know if there's an easy solution. I don't know if there's anything that you can do as far as incentives to get these guys to play for money or seeding at the end of the season. But if you can make it fun, that would sure go a long way towards it.
Well, you know what, Keith? The festivities of the weekend, whether it be the 3-point competition, the dunk contest, the skills challenge, everything focuses on offense. Where's the love for like the leading blockers in the league, right?
Yeah.
Or the leading steal getters.
Win championships. Highlight that.
Like right now, you look at the NBA stats, all right? So the top 5 blockers in the NBA, Jaren Jackson Jr., Nick Claxton, Brooke Lopez, Miles Turner, and Walker Kessler. You need to get those guys there at the rim, and then you need to have Mac McClung try to throw down a dunk. Who wins? Who wins? The guy who's going to throw down a ferocious dunk, or the guy who doesn't let the ball go through the hoop? That's the one-on-one action we need.
I think that trampoline's involved underneath, and we've got a real winner here. No more issue, no more question about the All-Star game being dead or needing to save it like dunk contest.
Hey, slam ball is coming back.
There we go, slam ball. That's right. Couldn't remember the name for it. And by the way, Chris, it was 60% of the time. It works every time. Just to be totally clear on our Anchorman references.
No, it's not. It's 100% of the time. It's 100% of the time. It works every time when Damian Lillard's doing it. That's what I said. That's what I said. I added to the movie.
I had the wrong quote.
And then I referenced Anchorman. Like, I think that's the quote. Ha ha, funny. But no, it was. I was praising Dame. You need to listen harder. Okay.
Hey, I'm always here for praising Dame, but I just want to make sure we're getting our Anchorman quotes correct. That's some sacred ground there.
Yeah. Okay. Agree to disagree. Right. See what I did there?
Talk about that on the pod tomorrow.
All right. Here's a question for you, because I think, again, you're the fan here, so you have a good feel for the fan base. You talk about your disinterest in the All-Star game as a whole. I know fans would. How would that change if the game were in Portland?
I mean, obviously, I want to see it here. Obviously, I want to have that experience for Portland as a fan base and as a whole and as a city. I'm not sure what it changes on the court. A lot of the problems that we're talking about with both the dunk contest and the game itself are issues with what we're seeing from the dudes on the court. And again, if we can go rock and jock, maybe Portland would be the city for it. Get weird about everything up here.
Would be the city to get weird.
It would be the place to do it. It would be the place to bring in the 50-point shots and the trampolines and everything else. Bring in the celebrity versus players themselves. Bring in some other athlete crossover. Excuse me there. But yeah, other than going crazy with it, I'm not really sure. Either way, though, if we can get it up here in Portland, the fan base deserves it. It's been long enough, and if Utah can handle the game, I'm pretty sure the city has got what it takes.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been to Utah. It's not like it's the most hotel rich city that there is. It's incredibly clean and beautiful, and they do have some good restaurants. I'll give them that. But come on now.
Hey, I mean, restaurants. Let's not even make that a question. I mean, have you been out down here? If there's one thing that Portland has, we have some amazing food of all kinds, and none of it's too far. It's an easy walk across the bridge, so it's a beautiful place to come to. We have water. I know Utah. Don't think they can brag about that as much.
Okay. Well, I get what you're laying down. I still cook in all the time.
I'm just throwing stones.
All right. That's what you do. You're a fan. All right. Now let's get your take. Let's move away from this all-star game nonsense for a second. A quick look at the standings. The Blazers 12 and a half games out of first place, but just 3 games out of being in fifth, which is interesting because everything is just stacked right now. But they are currently in 12th place in the West. They open up the post All-Star break schedule on the road against Sacramento, at home against the Rockets, and then at Golden State, at home against NOLA, and then a 6-game road trip, which I'll get into before the show closes. But I just want to get your general thoughts, your feelings on how the Blazers close this season out.
Feeling good, Chris. I know we've got a little bit of a climb to go, but it's not that far for a healthy Dame-led team. With the fire that we just saw from him this weekend to get us in towards the play-in. I think there's a couple teams right above us that are probably on the way down a little bit, given some room up there. And again, like we've talked about on the pod in the last couple of weeks, I think if a Dame-led team gets into the play-in and only needs to win 1 or 2 games to advance, my money's going on Dame. I'm feeling pretty about it.
That's the crazy Keith I know. He's like,
I'm just getting started.
He's like 20 plus games left. Yep, they're going to turn around. They're going to win 20 and 24. Playoffs, baby, championship.
Yeah,
Here we go.
Forget 50%. I think we got an easy. Let's go 2/3 of the games. We got this. Dame is going to all the way. We're not even going to end in the 10th seed. Let's get an upper end of this. Let's go 7 or 8. What do you think, Chris? A coin flip for 7 or 8.
Place in the West?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm flipping. I'm flipping a coin and it's landing on its side straight up, and they're finishing in like 10th. So sorry about your luck. All right,
I'll take you over.
Get your thoughts again, being the super fan, and I want to get the fan take here. Early thoughts on what looks like the future at the small forward position for the Blazers in Matisse Thybulle.
Matisse is. Look, I said it earlier tonight on the show. Defense wins championships. Matisse is the best example we've seen of that as far as bringing someone in here who can do exactly what we want, what we need, the defense on the perimeter especially. I love him getting in here. My heart hurts for our guy Nas. I've been rooting for him here for a long time, trying to get him some minutes in there, but that just doesn't seem to be the way it's going right now. And maybe he can learn a bit from Thybulle here. Maybe he can pick up some of these habits and earn the spot that way. But Matisse, at the very least, he's going to help lay down a framework that I think maybe fans were hoping for already, and we didn't quite get to see as much as we had expected.
All right, final question. I don't know why you're afraid of me or what I did to upset you, but are you ever going to actually text me at a reasonable hour and try to play Dead by Daylight again?
I would say, it's one of those things where you just need to develop more of a nightlife, really. I'm operating on total normal hours for my my frame of reference, and we can't. I want to get a discount from the current dental procedures time era here, where there was painkillers involved. I was up late. That doesn't quite count as normal.
Yeah, I got a tooth pulled too. I understand, but for those of you who don't know, because you're not in my text messages, this fool messages me at 2:00 in the morning the other day. Hey, you want to play some
Just that
DPD?
one time.
Bro, I'm sleeping. What are you doing? All right. This has been my buddy Keith. You can find him on Twitter at Rip City Keith. You can follow his podcast at Trailcasters. You can download it, listen to it, wherever you find your podcast. Keith, thank you for taking the time and your first guest spot here on Courtside. I'm going to have to listen back to it and grade it to decide if I ever get to bring you back on.
I appreciate that. My fingers are crossed. Thank you so much, Chris. Preston, shout out, dude. Great music, sir.